Hey guys, first of all, I'm sorry that I didn't upload a video for 2 months or more. My PC broke 3 times, my GPU crashed, my CPU and my power supply didn't work. And all this happened while I had exams at university. But now I'm back with a new video, and as I said, today I will explain a bit more about normal maps and bump maps, and we will set up a material with it. Let's start by discussing what a bump map is. In general, it's just a grayscale image and stores information about the height of pixels. But now let's talk about normal maps, because they are way more interesting and more useful, because the results are much better. They don't store the relative height of the pixels, they store directions. I know this sounds weird, and to understand it we first have to talk about normals. So let me explain more about normal maps, and yeah, then we go on with setting up a material. First I will turn on show normals. This works only in edit mode on the right panel here. To do this, press N to bring it up, or in Blender 2.8 it's on the top here on the viewport overlay, and here you can set this up. But as 2.8 isn't officially out yet, I will still use 2.79 till July when its official releases. So I selected normals and faces, and here I can set up the size just to make it better visible. And you see normals are the vectors that points directly in a 90-degree angle away from the geometry. Directly, a perfectly 90-degree angle away from the surface. But if you use normal maps to change the vector, the light will get reflected in a different way. It's not like this, it's more like this, or however our normal maps will fake our geometry. So the light gets reflected in a different angle, and that's the principle that normal maps use to fake details. The light gets reflected like if there's a bumpiness or something like this. Now that we talked about what normals are, let me explain you 2 more things before we set up the material. First of all, I think most of you know this error or faced it already. Sometimes you got weird shading errors like this. Faces seem too dark, or yeah, any other weird shading bugs. Mostly this is because some normals face the wrong direction, and to fix this we go into edit mode and select everything and press Ctrl N to recalculate the normals. We can press space. Oh no, we can't. Okay. Okay, then it's Ctrl N to recalculate the normals. In 2.8 it's called make normals consistent, and here it's the shortcut Shift N. Let me delete this. And to bring the search bar up, you have to press F3 instead of space. And I will search for flip normals real quick to bring up a shading arrow. And switch to cycles, rendered. Oh, seems like our lighting isn't good enough to bring up the errors, but here it is. Again, press everything by selecting A and then Shift N to recalculate the normals, and here it's called make normals consistent. And the same technique that I used to bring up the errors can be used to fix single flipped normals. If you got any weird shading error here, yeah, like this, you can go into edit mode, select the single surface. You see there's no normal vector sticking out here, and press flip normals by pressing space and search for flip normals, and see it's back here, and everything should work now perfectly fine again. So now let us set up a simple material. As you can see, we still got only a diffuse node here, and now I will add in a procedural noise texture. If you already use 2.8, it's not called node editor, it's called the shader editor, but it works exactly the same. And so on, but I will stick to 2.79 for the moment. I will add in a noise texture, simply a procedural texture, and also a color ramp to crank up the contrast. You will see this is how our map looks at the moment. And if I want to bring the contrast a bit more up, maybe it looks like this. And we have our normal input here. If we plug it in here, it will look somehow weird, and this is because we don't have a bump map here. We have to plug this in the height input to convert it to a normal output, and so we can use it for the normal input of the diffuse map. And now you can see our sphere looks like it has some waves on it, or creases, or other irregularities, but the vertex count still remains the same, and we don't use more processing power than we need. We could sculpt this as well, but this would lead lots of vertex density, and yeah, it's better to use normal maps. And you can control the strength of it here too. Maybe this looks a bit better. Yeah, it looks a bit like a snowball, so if you want to make a snowball, maybe this is the right idea to get to it. But now to show you that it does work with image textures too, I will open up the Internet Explorer, or in my case Google Chrome, and go to polygon.com. I will link this texture here too. They got some free assets and textures, but also some paid ones. But to download the free ones, you only need a free account, so I would recommend you to sign up. You can download the materials and simply use them in Blender by using Polygon's material converter add-on. So I already downloaded it and placed it in my textures folder here. It was called Bricks 1. I simply remembered the name because you will need it later. I will link the material converter too. And after you install the material converter, under File, User Preferences, Polygon Material Converter, you will get an extra window in the material settings like this. You can press the folder and simply navigate to where you saved your folders. Open it and navigate to the folder which is named like the resolution, and press accept. This will load up the material, and you only have to press load. I think I already loaded it in for the tutorial. So press load here, load, like this. And now, if your sphere is unwrapped, you can simply select it. It's a bit stretched for me. better we use a simple plane for this purpose. So you see we already got a perfect material setup here thanks to the material converter. But if I unplug the normal input, you will see it looks more flat, and if I plug in the normal input again, this becomes some irregularities and bumpiness, and you see it doesn't look that fake anymore. So make sure you always don't forget the normal map and plug it into a normal map. You can plug in the normal map simply without the bump 2, which just converts the displays and normal map to a single normal map. And play around with the values. Most times the values are set too high from the material converter, but anyway, it's a nice tool and saves you so much of time. Hope this video helped you to understand how and why normal maps are used. See you soon, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see more. Bye!